Nin nin.
Okay, Josh, stop up.
No, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Nin nin. It's morphin time.
Honestly, I thought Mike was going to open up with it's finally torture time for the Mastodon after 17 years.
Hey, he says that. After 17 years, it's finally torturing time for the Mastodon. Of course, a certain emperor of toy reviews had one job to do.
I wasn't aware.
You had a week.
You didn't tell me ahead of time.
In the words of Abba and Preach, you had 168 hours. Click, 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 click.
You had a
and
whole...
yes, for my birthday, I recently, let's just say, acquired. It was a Bakuage changer.
Boom changer.
Yeah,
he took it off the Sentai ring and turned it back into the boom changer. That's how he got it.
Engage.
That's one way to do it.
Wait, actually, you know what?
Get it? Bop bop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Engage.
Bop.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, the on-off switch is actually very interesting.
Yes, welcome everybody to the Morphin Network. It's Morphin time every time.
It's so well hidden, yo.
Ooh, that's actually a good toy thing, toy building, whatever. Yeah, this is a Super Hero Special with number 1 Sentai Gozyuger episode 10. Go Showa! Good lord, they knew what they were doing with this one. Go Showa has arrived.
Yeah, or Showa has arrived, but go.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, it's like they make a lot of Zubat references, which is the character design that inspired Beautiful Joe. Ergo, Henshin a Go baby.
Yo, shout out to the 4 Kids Beautiful Joe show.
Oh god,
I've missed that.
Yeah, my favorite dubbing company.
Yeah, I think Alice. You know what's funny? The other day at work, a bunch of us were geeking out about the 4 Kids openings. Because when Super's not enough, Zoro's like a samurai. Yeah, but you can be the Shaman King.
Say what you about 4 Kids. They had some banger openings. Yu-Gi-Oh series, Pokemon series, Shaman King, One Piece, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003.
Just not fighting Foodons.
We don't talk about that.
That's where he draws the line.
That's where I draw the line. It's like, say what you will about the One Piece rap, at least it's freaking catchy.
Kirby right back at you. Ultimate Muscle.
Damn Skippy.
Shout out to my Kaneko Man fans.
Ultraman Tiga.
Ultraman
Tiga.
Yeah.
When Super's just not enough. Yeah, and also Stargate Infinity. Yeah, that I would have to say that animated series surprisingly got me back into Stargate. Oddly enough. Yeah, there was like an episode about like being too obsessed with computers, and even like the character was like, yeah, when I was a kid, my mom gave me a time limit on how long I could use the computer, but then eventually I got so used to it I didn't need the time limit anymore. Yeah, which is appropriate because this is an episode about the Showa era.
Yep, basically.
So let me ask you this: how do you use a phone?
Oh man,
if you're talking about like an old timey phone,
that's how I learned.
You know, when I was 2, I still had exposure to rotary phones, so I actually know how to use them.
But I remember there being a rotary phone in my childhood home.
I had a grandmother that had a rotary phone.
Yeah, then switched to touch dial. So, beep, beep, boop, boop,
and
boop, boop, boop.
Fisher Price had rotary phone toys too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The one thing that would always annoy me is that spiral cable attaching the phone. And the reason I get that it's rubbery for the purpose of, hey, you could step away from the phone for a couple of feet. The problem is that spiral would just like collapse into itself, and if you've ever owned a Slinky for more than a week, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then out of nowhere, wireless phones became a thing. And you know what else became a thing after that? Caller ID.
Yep.
Caller ID come in handy though.
Yeah, because then you can't make crank calls, so you become an intern working for Cthulhu, and you might spend a lot of time in the cafeteria. Wait, you understood all that? No, but I'm good at reading subtitles backwards.
Billy and Mandy reference.
Hey, a family, you have caller ID. Yeah.
Basically, what's his name? Goju Unicorn works part-time, you know. Rent is high as motherfucker, but you know.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting. The value of the yen went down, but the price of living went up. Tale as old as time.
Yep.
Capitalism.
Mm.
Wait, so she's working.
Inflation.
The old man, Mr. Grandpa can just be like, "Oh yeah, you working? Yeah." Not all of us get to be 17 and going just back to high school.
Yep. Actually, I'm curious. How was Gramps even like living like between turning into a teenager and interning at the half century restaurant? Like some amount of time had to have passed. You can't have it like
I'm sure he comes back to an old man.
Like you can't use your retirement money because you obviously can't prove you don't have access to your bank account, presumably. And if you did, it would seem very sus that like some random 16-year-old is siphoning money from an old man's bank account. You can't ask his son because, you know, it's like, imagine a 17-year-old walking up to you. Hey, son, I'm your dad. Now, give me a hundo, please.
No, I'm sure he turns back into an old man when he needs to take care of like old man biz. But then obviously after that, he just, you know, gets his metabolism back up and turns into a kid.
I guess.
Yeah, but usually he just like stays as a teenager for as long as possible. It's not like he like deliberately transforms back. Like it's clear that like his power's on a timer. Like,
yeah, like he does run out of energy to hold his youth, then he turns back to an old man. So most likely, like, all right, before I turn back into a teenager, I gotta do my old man biz.
Yeah. So if he needs to go back to doing his old man biz and the timer hasn't ran out, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when the feds come for you?
I mean, run. Don't run from the police.
Yeah. So what's really funny is, really very, very, very quick aside.
Mm-hmm.
Saint Yellow gives Horo some free omelet just this once.
Oh yeah.
And the two of them agree, hey, let's go looking for a bunch of circles so we could find a portal to the bad guy's lair. You know, be proactive, like Ryan Mitchell.
I mean, they're no Carter Grayson, but, you know, they at least thought ahead, be like, yeah, I might as well do something. You know, I got my brother on my mind. Blue's not around to make Bouquet fangirl.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I noticed that in a lot of episodes recently, Blue is never around.
And this is after I started to like his character too. Then he starts to leave. What the hell? What are you doing to me? It's like when you first introduce him, I don't like him, but he's all up in my grill. He's all up on my screen. But then,
I thought Red was the lone wolf.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, put a new leaf. Like, oh, I like this character now. Now he's nowhere to be seen. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, is he like a real life idol where like he has to leave for like idol stuff in between episodes? Or is it like,
yeah, so yeah, probably. He probably had
or like did he get some kind of injuries like Fujioka where like he has to like leave for like 39 episodes?
We're in a show episode. Get it, y'all?
Yeah. And also on our actual podcast, Takashi's finally back full time.
Mm-hmm.
Vlog.
Yeah, because we're at episode 53 onwards now.
Oh man, they're more than halfway through the series.
Yeah, we finally got to episode 53. Like, in any other circumstance, that would mean, oh, we're done with the season.
No, just a little over halfway there.
Yeah.
Showa Era don't care about y'all feelings. Showa Era wanted to make money. Although, considering what's on my screen right now, we're no better.
Yeah.
They say.
Yeah.
We were no better in America in the Heisei era.
Yeah, because like when they did the original Kamen Rider, they didn't know how long that show was gonna last. So like, of course, it's gonna be 98 episodes. And in Power Rangers, it's like, oh yeah, we got 40 episodes in. That's a good amount of episodes to end on. Jumanji ended with 40 episodes. But then freaking it's like, this is kind of popular. Let's add another 20 and then make Japan grind a couple more stock footage clips for us to like abuse.
Yeah, Mighty Morphin, the series that refuses to move on, keeps getting over milked. How can I feel nostalgic about something if I keep getting it shoved down my throat?
At least we got
stop. Well, you could stop milking and start drinking soda.
Well, I'm drinking water right now, so
if you like pina coladas and watching Lost Galaxy, we
got two nostalgia things this episode, but we'll get to that. So, yeah, basically, Green just sees that Goju Eagle's like, "Hey, you work here?" She's like, "Yeah, we got jobs. We can't turn teenagers and hang out with our grandkids in high school, you weirdo."
That is weird. Like, imagine if a female student develops a crush on him.
It's 17 again for
that's worse than Erased.
That is worse than Erased.
It is worse than Erased because like in Erased, first of all, main character acknowledges that whoa, this is all wrong.
At least they
acknowledge. But the only reason I'm sticking around is to save a friend from being killed by a serial killer who will later turn out to be my teacher. What is the Green Rangers thing? Like, you can't assume that, oh no, my grandson's going to be killed by a serial killer, so I have to turn into a teenager so I can rescue him. You know who does that? Rick Sanchez.
Yep.
Coach, what are the odds that Coach Ferratu was a vampire the whole time?
But like, this is just 17 again. But either way, so she's working. Her number one customer, he's a big fan of the Showa era. Yeah. And that's all they needed. That's all they needed. Oh, you like the Showa era? He's not desiring anything. He's not wishing for anything.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I like Sky Rider. It's the second longest season of Kamen Rider, but it was a pretty good reboot. They brought back the original 7. They gave him a power up. It felt appropriate. It's like Power Rangers Zeo in the Heisei era, except it's Showa.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you just like this thing. He had no desire. He didn't wish like, oh, I wish it could be the Showa era again.
Yeah. It's like, I wish. Oh man, I miss watching Zubat for the 100th time.
Yeah, no, he's just like, oh, I'm just having my old school lunch. That's all it is. And it's like, all right, yeah, that's good. I will make you a villain off that. Like, okay.
Oh, I vaguely like to solve Rubik's Cubes and similar associated puzzles. Why don't I turn into the #1 No No.1 puzzle guy.
Yeah, so
not to mention there's like 108 other hobbies I like. For instance, watching tokusatsu. Maybe I should be the #1 No.1 tokusatsu fan. Or I like origami. Maybe I should be the #1 No.1 origami monster thing.
Right. But yeah, so we are transported back into the Showa era with everything looking all retro. Everyone's so confused. Obviously, Goju Unicorn is going to be the most confused. You feel so out of place.
Yeah, because remember, like when we saw that CD player, it's like why is this tape not working?
Yeah, she's 18.
Wow,
so
that's a CD player. I've never seen one of those before.
Yeah, she had late Heisei. She late Heisei, so obviously she's not gonna know anything Showa. But Eagle, he's like, hey, it's my territory. I got this.
Yeah, notice how they're always like making like they're making Reiwa and Showa compete against each other as if like Heisei just does not exist. You know what?
Even though there was so much Toku and so much things that happened in the Heisei era.
You know what's really yeah. You know what made this episode just a little bit funnier is if instead of making it just like a singular Showa monster, like what if it was a father and son monster duo where like the father is like from the Showa era and the son's from the Heisei era, and they're like competing against each other over which era is better. And of course, Goju Unicorns has to be like the Reiwa rep, so you have all three generations going at it.
Yeah,
but basically the point of this episode to be like, oh, the Reiwa era is not so bad. The Showa era was also cool as well. Basically, this is good for Unicorn and Eagle to understand each other a bit more.
Yeah, because it does seem like Sumino might be the youngest person in the group.
She is, yes.
Yeah, and naturally, Eagle is the oldest because he's 87. So it's like, of course, it's like, yeah, like that's the perfect age thing. And honestly, like I just want to like say it one more time. I do find it interesting that you actually do have an 87-year-old as a core member of a team. Usually they'll be relegated all the way down to like an extra hero. And we're not talking about like a 600-year-old teenager from another planet where their civilization is like ages much slower. No, I mean like this is an 87-year-old mortal human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, basically he's like, oh, I got this. I'm Showa all the way, baby.
Yeah.
And then the Showa monster is watching Kaiketsu's Zubat.
Yeah, I love Zubat, man. Like, it's one of the 4 major roles played by none other than Shiro Kazami. Well,
yeah, Hiroshi Miyauchi.
Yeah, Shiro Kazami is one of the 4 characters because he was Kamen Rider V3, he was Zubat, he was Owl Ranger, and then he became a different character in 2 years from then as Big One.
Mm-hmm. You know, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Discotech Media releases Zubat eventually.
I thought they did.
Yeah. So, in exchange, so the monster basically plays trading card pogs.
Yeah.
Like I know there's like an actual name for this game in Japan and Korea because, we've watched Squid Game. But here in America, we call it Pogs.
Oh, was that Smith series? But you get my point. Mighty Morphin, biggest Pogs in
I used to have a White Ranger Pog. I remember that.
I had some of them. I don't remember which ones off the top of my head, but I know I had those little cardboard discs of Power Rangers.
Yeah. And then eventually they show him, oh, you can't get this in the Showa era. Look what we got in the Reiwa era, and it's a bunch of Zubat merchandise.
Yeah, because
including a Blu-ray from Discotheque.
Maybe someday. Who knows?
And I'm like, hey, you know, this is probably what my uncle from the Heisei era told me about. How in the Heisei era, they would shamelessly promote a superhero from the Showa era in order to promote some kind of new media involving that character. You know, kind of like Kikaider the reboot or Neo Gavan.
You mean Gavin Type G?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shin Zubat. No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm surprised it didn't do something with Inazuman because, like, I know that Kikaider, Inazuman, and Zubat all appeared in Kamen Rider O's.
I knew about the first two. I did not know that Zubat did, but it's an Ishinomori thing, so yeah.
No, because like in the 40th anniversary film, Kamen Rider O's Let's Go Kamen Rider.
Yeah,
like you had like some you had some shenanigans. Shocker got their hands on a greed medal. They reverse engineered to make a Shocker medal. And then they turned Ichigo and Ego into villains. They stayed villains. And then when they fixed the timeline, you had like every Kamen Rider from Ichigo all the way through O's. And that includes the 3 writers from the 90s, like fighting a bunch of Shockers. And then Owner's like, the Kamen Riders weren't the only heroes in the last 40 years. And then you got Kikaider 01, Inazuman, and Zubat.
I vaguely remember.
And then they all did like this massive 40 rider kick where like 40 Kamen Riders made the shape of the number 40. Which looks super ridiculous in hindsight. But it's the Heisei era.
It was early days.
Yeah. But I do like how but I also love that we got a little bit of focus on go-go dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time you ever see real obviously we still have go dancing to this day. But the way you see it in that type of style you would see in this episode is if you watch K-pop and you watch like literally trot music videos from Korea.
Not gonna lie though, I did feel sad watching that go-go scene because all it would make me think about is how much I miss Mari from the original Kamen Rider. She just disappears after episode 38. She was the best part of the show. Stupid Amy's constantly getting kidnapped and Mika didn't do anything but read tarot cards for a couple of episodes.
Damn you, Salazar! Damn you, Salazar!
Damn you, successful music career!
But what bit Eagle in the ass is like he forgot his way. He forgot where he came from.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why he lost the number 1 battle. And you know what's really interesting is what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. And I do love how one thing that's interesting is that the monster mentioned something that seems really bizarre because they mentioned, oh, now it's gonna be year 100 of the Showa era. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
no, it's not. No. Showa era started on December 25th, 1926. So if anything, Showa 99 will start this December.
See.
And
they're just a little off.
And you can't even say, oh, well, this season probably takes place in the future because then it defeats the whole point of it being the half century.
And then that throws off the whole continuity of Boon Boomjer and ToQger, which ToQger's continuity is already thrown out of whack. We don't need more headaches. But yeah, this is good for great even to like. Oh, I forgot where I came from. I got so used to this. But then Unicorn, who only knows the technology lifestyle, she's starting to find an appreciation of the old school method.
Yeah, like enjoying the night sky when there weren't any buildings, but also appreciating the city lights of the Reiwa era.
Yeah, it's like it's a good balance for them to understand each other. Where I believe they'll grow into a better friendship by the end of the series. It'll be like
Such a shame we can't have it both ways.
he'll be a good grandfather figure for her.
Yeah.
So I see that, but yeah, no, it's like they can.
You know, this wouldn't be the weirdest grandfather granddaughter relationship we've seen because GT's a thing.
No, yeah.
Still like it better than Super, but still, it's like you got like a 9-year-old grandpa.
Japan.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because, like, remember, like the big brother, little brother trope. The big brother's always smaller.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, where are the tall shorties at? I'm just kidding.
So we got basically that's the main plot of the series, but then you got Haru and I was gonna say Lion, but no, he's Tyranno.
Yeah.
They're just like, yo, let's be productive. And
yeah. Let's look at the rings. We got to find some rings. I know they have portal through rings.
And Bouquet, like the baddie she is, comes out like, hey, boys.
Also, the way she comes out is also pretty bad. And she summons a bunch of, and she's like, oh, you're looking for the professor? Well, I know where he is, but I'm under no obligation to tell you where he is. Ring-a-lings. Ding, ding, ding.
Ring-a-lings.
Yeah.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling, ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah, better ring-a-ling than a ding-a-ling.
Ding, ding.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, I referenced that cartoon. Yeah.
Ring-a-ling-a-ring-a.
And yes, she has some really nice evasive maneuvers, and she's like, generative. Pulls out twin pistols. I'm like, is that a Go Buster reference?
I want to think so because the way she pulled it out made me think of Escape. I would pull out my Roxy figure, but I'd rather not. But it really did make me think of Escape.
Yeah. Guten Tag, Go Busters. But goddamn, I just love how like the monsters are like watching Zubat on that old TV.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so next No.1 battle, and it's like, oh, I have a smartphone from the Reiwa side, and look what I can do with it. It's like I got all the Zubat merchandise. I can watch episodes of Zubat, and here's something that's even cooler. And then he calls up a DoorDasher.
Yeah. Hey, you like that old school food, huh? You like that? You like that? Okay.
Yeah. Well, watch me use future technology to summon it instantly. And it's hot and fresh and good to go. That's right. I just ripped off a Taco Bell commercial from the mid 2000s. It's hot and fresh, so it's good to go. Yeah, I think I'm good to go get another one. Yeah, maybe you're good to go get a job.
But well, I feel like this episode was an advertisement, not just for it's obviously paying homage to Zubat, but also advertising the delivery service.
Mm-hmm.
Which
watch. I bet you they're gonna do like a cross promotion where, like, if you order food from this app, you'll be put into a lottery to win this exclusive Gozyuger, not Gozyuger, Gozyuger ring. And by the way, I love how like when the two Rangers transform, Goju Eagle does the same pose as Zubat, like at the same time as the TV show. Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm like, how come no one's like paying attention to like the Heisei era. Yo, man, like that's some disrespect, my guy. Like you'd think there might be like a pocket gradient in between the two zones. That would be like a tiny sliver of Heisei, you know? Like maybe like show off a Kamen Rider Kuga doll or a Time Ranger doll. Hey, maybe use a Time Ranger ring this episode. You'd think. Yeah, that like Time Ranger is a pretty good season to incorporate for the Heisei aspect because one, if I recall, it was the season that aired simultaneously with Kuga.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Or another thing that they could have used for the Heisei era was Turbo Ranger.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was the first season to air Yeah, because it aired in 89.
It was the first Heisei Super Sentai.
Yeah. Yeah. In a way that's similar to what's it called? Ryu Soldier was the first Reiwa.
Well,
by a few episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, I still count that as more of a Heisei because it was still a Heisei when it aired, and then so Kira Major is the first official, but that's neither here nor there. But they did have
but the thing is, Turbo Ranger aired during the show towards the end of the Showa and crossed over to the start of Heisei.
No, the last like few episodes of Live Man were in the very beginning of the Heisei era. Turbo Ranger is pure Heisei.
So Live Man is.
I need to look this up because hold on.
But Heisei represented
January 8th, 1989. And what season aired? Okay, so let me look at Turbo Ranger just to make sure. Remember January 8th. Yeah, you're right. March 4th.
Yeah, so
see, I was thinking about Kamen Rider Black RX.
Yeah.
that happens.
Interesting how Minami Kotaro is technically the last Showa era Kamen Rider and technically the first Heisei era Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
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 If you want to be technical.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the 390s riders are considered Showa.
Even though they're Heisei. That's weak. It's like saying Abre Killer is a sixth hero, even though he's the fifth.
Yeah, and then you got Gozyuger, where you have a team of 7 with 2 Sixth Rangers, and then you take the concepts of both Abba Ranger and Gozyuger and put them into a Go Busters, where you have a team of 3 Core Rangers and 2 Sixth Rangers for a total of 5.
Yep.
But Heisei was represented in this episode through Haru.
Yeah.
Because
and the Black Daijujin.
Yeah. So during the fight, we summon what's it called? Tegasword Blue in order to fight Daijujin. The Black Daijujin. And
of course, like he knows the identities of everyone else but Blue.
I think that's probably going to be a running joke for like another 30 episodes.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
and of course, so it's like she summons the Black Daijujin and it's like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. So the Lion Sword fires a bullet at the tortured Mastodon head.
Exactly. That's why it's torture. Time for the Mastodon, because you have to decapitate the Mastodon and then split him open.
He heard his name. Like, what you talking about?
And let's take a moment to appreciate this. You have a lion versus a Mastodon. That's clearly a reference to Mighty Morphin Season 2, because the Mastodon turns into the Lion Thunder Sword.
Maybe. But I will say this. as much as I'm sick and tired of...
Hey, there's the Mastodon! It's being tortured right now!
Yep, they're in the Daijujin.
Oh,
But I will say this. I will say this. As much as I'm sick and tired of seeing Zyuranger get overmilked because of Mighty Morphin, it is cool to see the black and gold version finally be canonized.
Yeah.
And it's a suit, not CGI. Take notes, Hasbro.
Oh, yeah.
Watts.
Oh, yeah. And it looks great.
Oh, yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Realistic.
So here's the way I think about it. I had a Gozyuger toy long before Gozyuger was even thought up of.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It took us 17 years, but Torture Time for the Mastodon is finally canon.
Yep.
It's
just like how I cosplayed Red Buster before Beast Morphers was a thing.
Yeah. One day later, like they announced the cast members, and then what's it called? And let's not forget the 2 years before that, where Miguel and I were dressed up as Nobuharu and Yakumo from Kyoryuger and Ninja. And then like we even took a photo together and everything. And then about an hour later, you have the cast of Dino Charge announce the cast of Ninja Steel. And of course, who does Yoshi call the name of? Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Who you could also see in Universal Studios.
They're nice. The Sidarsos are nice. Although that kick to the head was still uncalled for, Yoshi.
Yeah. Hi, Peter. How are things at work? I hope Harry's not giving you a hard time in that Tri-Wizard Cup.
Man.
Yeah, he's a Durmstrang student.
Peter, you should have told me about Beast Morphers. Nah. Didn't want to say nothing. Yoshi kicked me. See, if me and the Stars didn't squash none, I'd still have beef with them to this day. But that's neither here nor there. That's a story for another day. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Heisei representation through Ninja and Daijujin.
Yeah, apparently somehow the Showa world maximizes the ninality of the ninja powers.
I want to say because Ninja is 10 years old. That's why they used it like that.
I also want to say it's because the original Aka Ninja was actually from the Showa era.
That too.
That could be.
They did have Aka Red. Not Aka Red.
Aka Ninja?
No, not Aka Ninja.
Aka Ranger?
Aka Ranger, yes. They did have Aka Ranger in the Ninja.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, in that episode to where Ninja Red and Hurricane Red show up.
Yep. That's the one on the anniversary.
Oh, they also had Jiraiya from Metal Heroes, which was also the last of the
episode. And it was also the episode where Peter not Peter, Yoshi showed up.
Peter saved Yoshi in that episode.
Yeah.
And they skipped it. They didn't. Oh, technically, they still.
It was foreshadowing nobody saw coming.
Yeah.
They could have used that.
Get out of here! Thank you, English-speaking Blue Ranger. I hope my brother becomes like you someday.
You could have used that footage, you lazy bastards.
And yet, Jiraiya does show up in the American Power Rangers as Skyfire.
Yeah, Sheriff Skyfire.
And then Gavan shows up as
Captain Chaku.
We don't talk about that.
I get it, because Chochaku.
So does that mean that Charivan is Keisha and Shider is Ketsu?
Wasn't Charivan already a VR trooper?
Shider was a VR trooper, but not Charivan.
I know that 2 of the Metal Heroes showed up in one episode of Beetleborgs.
Yeah, it was Jan Person and Gunn Gibson.
Yeah, in convention dimension.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope.
Yes. With the power of mentality.
Yeah. Hold on, I got this. It's like Aja, Oja, Kija, Amoja, Shija, Ninja.
Before I can say, I regret buying my nephew that stupid Ninja Steel Morpher. I should have just got him the Ninja Sword, but I was being
Ichibanto.
cheap. Yes, I should have just bought the Ichibanto. They were both there, but I decided to be cheap and buy the Ninja Steel version. I'm a bad uncle for that one. I will admit that. I should have bought him the Ichibanto.
And unfortunately, it took me 10 years to realize that the 5 elements on the element star are the 5 Chinese elements. Fire, water, earth, wood, steel.
Is this Armor Hero?
The Avatar.
Yeah, not the Avatar, but it is the Mummy 3.
Oh, yeah.
Or the 5
elements that are used.
Actually, you know what? I just realized. Hold on, give me one quick second.
Nin. All right, it's been a second.
All right, so you know how Ninja likes to reference ninja movies?
Yeah.
Well, it's time to cross the Japanese border all the way to Hong Kong because the 5 element ninjas from the Shaw Brothers. Because the 5 element ninjas were metal, fire, wood, earth, water. Yeah, man, I love the metal ninjas because they had these gold foil parasols that would blind their enemy and then knives shoot out of the umbrellas.
Yeah, and those same 5 elements were also used in the original Armor Hero series.
Yep. Yeah, we already mentioned that, but yes.
So, yes.
Yeah, because Armor Hero is a Chinese tokusatsu, so naturally they would use Chinese elements. I still can't get over the idea that a rhino is water.
He just is.
That's weird. A rhino being water. You'd think the dog would be water.
Dog water.
And the rhino would be, I don't know, metal. And the eagle would be wood. In fact, why do we not have a blue Eagle Ranger yet?
Well, the thing is that Armor Hero Eagle Man was the wood element.
He was? I thought he was steel. Oh, that's right. The dog is steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crypto. Get it? Dog is steel. But mentality creates more Tegasword.
5 Tegaswords. 1 for each element. And yes, eagle is wood. Wolf is fire. For some reason, lion is water.
I mean,
I guess because it's blue.
And for some reason, unicorn is earth instead of steel.
I don't know, man. It's Sentai logic.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'd think the unicorn would be steel because that horn. It's very metal-like a drill or a sword.
Trying to explain the logic.
Of course, it's in my nature.
The day Gozyuger uses logic, then we're screwed.
Yeah. I mean, they did try to use logic in the previous episode to sway Haru to rejoin the team. You owe us money, Haru.
That's not logic. That's them just extorting the boy. That's all it is.
It's like the mom says he's broke. The friends say he's worse. Wait, what's worse than broke? We're in debt.
See, that's not logic. That's extortion.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Unicorn is Earth, and Unicorn is Earth, and T-Rex is metal.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because I assume that's like the associated elements are like based on like the same order in which they showed up in, like from the sequence. So you had water, earth, fire, wood, steel. So, but you had lion, unicorn, wolf, eagle, T-Rex. Yeah.
And they broke the perfectly practical black and gold Daijujin, which I like how we got a practical suit for this, but Mighty Morphin Once Nova just could not use a practical suit. Makes no sense.
They couldn't have imported the suit from Japan.
They could have.
Yeah. Yeah, don't you hate how Japan keeps it classy, like a proper Showa series, but Power Rangers just keeps it in the worst part of the Heisei era?
So what you're saying is the Chad modern Super Sentai, the Virgin modern Power Rangers.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
But they did it anyways. They broke that beautiful practical suit to save the archaeologist.
I just love how the special attack is called Claw Banisher. Yeah.
Pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But yeah, no, look, man, I know that that giant gaping hole in its abdomen is CGI, but
it looked good.
It looked good. It was a good shot, both literally and figuratively, because like movie terminology. But I hate how like everyone else just like almost immediately becomes self-absorbed again. It's like, oh, I'm gonna check my Twitter. Oh, I'm gonna look in my compact mirror. It's like,
no, you're supposed to do a cool pose, guys.
Yeah, and you're supposed to say some kind of cringy line like super mega Jugers. That's a super Goju win.
No, this is not the Virgin Neo Saban seasons.
Touch grass, get ass. That's what I always say.
And of course, the professor manages to break free, and
he was under mind control from Big
the Showa. No, not the Showa monster. The guy who was Tyranno Ranger.
Yes, he was under spell, under control to the big head.
Under the Ju-on. Look, I'm just gonna call her Robo Meadow because she looks like Meadow from Five Man.
Tega June, that's what her name is.
Yeah.
But I just call her Lady Ghost.
Tega June.
I'm still gonna call her Mecha Meadow.
Mecha Meadow.
Yeah, like Meadow, but mechanized.
She's just Lady Gosei. That's all she is.
Mm-hmm. Go Cena.
Go Cena-ger.
But yeah, they saved him from the mind control fairly easily, which, like I said last week, that felt like that should have basically, these last couple of episodes feel like they could have all been arcs and stretched out a bit longer.
Yeah, especially with the mind controlled Tyranno Ranger thing.
Yeah, like it felt like okay, they could have like
like I would have to say like this what's called this first episode. No, not this first episode. This that previous episode could have stretched out all the way through, let's say, episode 13.
Mm-hmm.
Let that play out for a while. Make it a hot minute. Maybe do an evil Goju Wolf thing. Like that's not a big deal. Like give him something to to reflect upon. Make him realize that his brother's kind of a jerk.
Give them a reason to care. Give them a reason to be a team.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when you start the new arc at episode 14, like you will have this play out for like 2 or 3 episodes where it's like, oh, now we have to fight an evil mind controlled Tyranno Ranger. Have him show up.
They'll be like, oh my god, he's actually alive.
Yeah, but he's evil now. Have him fight. Have him fight. Make him fight. Have them fight. Freaking XL Cannon. Daijujin.
Yes.
For a couple of episodes, and then even introduce freaking Tega June, and then have the two of them team up against Tegasword.
Like they had opportunities, but I think they're gonna
can you imagine if you had Haru's brother and the professor both fighting together against the Rangers?
Especially that he can basically use this mind controlled professor and buff him with the rings that he's gotten.
Yeah. Yeah, just imagine if he manages to steal the other dinosaur rings from the other Rangers. Kind of making a nod to Gal Ranger. And just augment Tyranno Ranger with Abba Ranger, Kyoruger, and Ryu Soldier powers.
Speaking of Gal Ranger, that's the next episode.
Yeah. And the actual Gal Red's going to be at G-Fest this year again.
And bogus Gal Red will be played by Yuto Sakurai.
Yep.
And no one else. No one else.
Yuto.
Like Kamen Rider Zeronos. Not Hibiki, not Zane, just Zeronos. And nothing else.
Not Yuto, Evil Trigger. Wait, Yuto, now I just realized. Now we've got two evil Ultramen playing Universe Reds.
Oh, yeah.
Because Sakurai Yuto was Evil Trigger in Ultraman Trigger.
Yeah.
And
so we had first we had Trigger, now Evil Trigger.
But he's also being a deadbeat dad. Why are you not spending time with your wife and daughter, you deadbeat? God. It's like you have a wife, you have a daughter, your brother-in-law went God knows where and had an emotional send-off from the Heisei era to his imagined friends. What are you doing this entire time? Hanging out with the Dark Emperor? Now being Gal Red? Deadbeat? See, Dominic Mysterio calls his dad a deadbeat. This is what a deadbeat looks like. I love you, Yuto. You're my guy. But I gotta call you out on it too.
To be fair, you can't be a deadbeat if no one remembers you existed.
That's what it's called. That's what we call getting the milk.
Yeah, just like how Kisuke Jin's secret underwater lair. It's like his dad's like, yeah, I died while trying to turn you into a cyborg, but I copied my mind into this secret underwater base so you could talk to me anytime you feel the need to get some advice. And then literally the very next episode, you know what, son? You're upset that a kid says that you're not human because you're cyborg. You know what I'm thinking? I need to go, this entire base needs to go for a pack of smokes. See ya. And then it self-destructs.
But, yeah.
I don't know what was even the idea behind that. I know we already finished discussing that entire season, so we can put it to rest. But still, it's like, why introduce this concept if you're going to abandon it literally the next episode?
They had no ideas. They didn't know what they were doing. Who knows?
But they just finished V3, yo.
So, yeah, basically, we end this episode, Green and Unicorn having a better understanding of each other. It's like, yeah, Showa ain't so bad, and Reiwa ain't so bad either. It's basically the Showa versus Heisei Kamen Rider movie again.
Oh, gosh.
Except it's Reiwa.
Exactly.
Oh, and even whippier snapper.
Yep.
Let me tell you, back in my day, we didn't use gimmick toys to summon our Megazords. In fact, our morphers didn't even turn into Megazords.
Yeah, back in my day, we wasn't doing no twacking with our booties. No, we were go-go dancing.
Back in my day, each person didn't even have their own individual Zord. We had to actually share Zords with each other.
Our Zords.
That wasn't a thing until Masked Man.
Our Zords were blimps.
Our Zords were planes.
Well, back in my day, we didn't even have mechas. We had aircrafts.
Back in my day, we didn't even have giant vehicles. We just had motorcycles.
Back in my day, we didn't have motorcycles. We just transformed into giants and fought kaiju.
Back in my day, we didn't even have giants to fight kaiju. We needed to either use the military or hope one kaiju fights another one.
Yeah, going back to Godzilla.
I went to Ultra Q territory.
Well, back in my day, we only had one kaiju, and we had to kill it with an oxygen destroyer.
Back in my day, all our fighting was between humans. In fact, and then flashback to like a very tragic event in history.
Oh gosh!
Back in my day, the main villains were Hydra. I'm not going to say the real thing.
Grandpa, weren't you allies with Hydra? We don't talk about that.
Back in my day, there was only 1 to 2 Kamen Riders fighting all of Hydra. Then it ended up being a whole era fighting Hydra. Then you Heisei whippersnappers thought it was cool to use it again. In
making my day, it was 1941. We only had one superhuman with a shield and a little boy. And he fought the entire Nazi army.
Well, back in my day, we only had a golden bat who troll laughed at everyone.
Back in my day, we had brains of gods. And we would sing plays about them. Why, there was this one lad who fought a boar and a lion with his bare hands. And he caged a giant bird and killed a Hydra. And then he went off to sea with some other lad named Jason.
Well, back in my day when the one hero fought all of the Hydra up until the 90s, we used those same Hydra agents to sell realty.
Man, I got you guys beat. I went full ancient Greek.
Yeah, Shocker did realty advertisements in the 2000s.
Back in my day, we didn't even have demigods to fight titans. We had to hope that the Titans would just leave us alone until one of them gave us fire.
Back in my day, we had Kratos kill all the gods.
Back in my day, we never even heard of Kratos.
But yeah, basically.
But yeah, this episode, it was pretty interesting, pretty fun. Black Gozyuger finally gets canonized.
17 years.
Just took 17 years.
One for every good season of Power Rangers.
And at least it was a practical suit. Cough, cough, once and always cough, cough. I'm mad I watched it sober.
You know,
not bad, just.
I was there for the press release. Exactly 12 years after the premiere of Samurai. Same day. Both at the Grove.
Well, then, all I remember once and always, they try to take the spotlight of us, taking our 6th anniversary, you dicks. August is your month. April's our month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still salty about that, but that's neither here nor there. I'm giving this episode a Gozyuger. I think I'm going to give it a 10 just for the sheer fact of it paying homage to another Ishinomori project that I believe not many people outside of Japan or the niche Toku community will even know. Like, if you're like casual or somewhat more well-versed into Toku, you're still not going to really know all about it. So this is a good way to get it on their radar. And yeah, Black and Gold Daijujin being a practical suit.
Oh yeah, definitely a 10 out of 10. It was a fun episode. Black and Gold Daijujin, and it had cool fight scenes with and cool practical effects when they did the mecha fights. Mm-hmm. And of course, the Zubat references. It's just a fun episode all around.
Yeah, and character development and whatnot. Sure, go with character too.
Yeah, for me, I would also give it a 10 because again, I love it when they play homage to the Showa era. Man, I feel old now because sooner or later they're gonna start playing homages to the Heisei era, like it was the Showa era 20 years ago. I still can get over the fact that I've been watching Kamen Rider for almost 20 years now. Let that sink in.
I've been watching Kamen Rider going on 15 years.
I mean, I found out about Sentai in 2006, so
it's almost not worth thinking about.
It's like I still can't get over it. I've been watching Kamen Rider for 20 years. That very round anniversary of a number, like that is like all I could say is, I'm getting old, Yusuke.
I mean, I'm away from my 15 years ago in about a month. That's when I discovered Super Sentai for the first time, outside of
Oh yeah, that's definitely Gokaiger that year.
Yeah, and this is obviously I did see the ASJ Walter Jones little Power Ranger special, but obviously when you're a kid, it's not going to really stick.
Yeah, because the only part you remember was the actual pilot, not the brief clips of Go Ranger and Jew Ranger that they used.
Yeah. Like, surprising I remembered that far, but my first official glimpse into Sentai was 15 years ago, and then a year later, I fell down the rabbit hole going through Shinkenger, and Kamen Rider Decade, and here we are today.
Yeah, see, I kind of knew that Power Rangers had a Japanese counterpart because of the fact that that lost episode mentioned that was based on a show in Japan, but I didn't know how many seasons there were before Mighty Morphin, so I just assumed, there was only one season before that. So Mighty Morphin is kind of the second season of Japanese Power Rangers or something like that. And because I didn't get a good look at Go Ranger when that episode aired, when that special aired, when I went to the Meltdown Comics store and saw that action figure of Change Phoenix, I thought that was the Japanese season of Power Rangers that aired before Mighty Morphin. Not a season that aired before. I mean the season, because still in the mindset of there was only one season of Japanese Power Rangers before actual Power Rangers. Kind of like Ultra Q or Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. Well, it would be your first season if you were Brazilian. Changeman was the first Sentai over there, and it's still a hit to this day.
If you watch certain channels back in the 80s, Dynaman might have been your first season.
Must have been nice.
Yeah, because Night Flight. And what's it called? And if you're in the Philippines, it might have been Bioman.
Or Maskman.
Yeah, but they did have Bioman before that, so.
Yeah, true. But before that, they had Go Ranger and Jekka.
Did they? Huh.
Yeah,
they had English dubs of them, except they renamed. Jekka actually came out first. It was called the Lucky Aces, and then after that was Go Ranger, and it was called Star Rangers.
That's interesting because only one of them's actually an ace. See, my first Power Rangers was actually just straight up VR Troopers.
Virtual reality trooper. Hey.
Yeah. So because it's because here, back in '95, I don't know if this happened everywhere else or if it was just in LA, but VR Troopers was syndicated to Channel 5 WB. So, and its air slot was simultaneous with Power Rangers on Fox 11. So, if you're just doing channel up from the auxiliary channel, which was channel 3, y'all remember the auxiliary channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, which one are you going to see first? Of course, channel 5, because 5 is closer to 3 than 11. So, of course, I'm going to watch VR Troopers instead of Power Rangers. And then during the end credits, I flip over to the last 5 minutes of Power Rangers, which was already in its 3rd season by that point. And yes, I like the VR Troopers costumes way better because, one, I like the whole metallic armor they're wearing. And I don't mean glittery spandex. I mean actual metallic armor. And 2, the 3 suits were very unique from one another, which is one that I could say for Mighty Morphin, where it's literally the same suit from the neck down, just different colors.
That's ironic how you're 5 and 11 to the flip side of my 5 and 11.
Yeah, because I was confused by that when I was in New York in December of '97 because I just want to watch Power Rangers. I switched to Channel 11 because out of habit, that's what I would do. And for some reason, they're showing Kids WB. I'm like, and they're like, and then my friend who was staying over, she was like, actually, Fox Kids is on Channel 5. I'm like, what is going on with the city?
Yeah, but as far as the costumes of VR Troopers go, I've watched all 3 shows that were made into VR Troopers, and they definitely had very, very impressive suits, impressive practical effects, and not only that, JB's what was it, the Laser Lance Command, and AKA the Arc Impulse from Spielbahn, still one of the coolest finishers I've ever seen.
AKA the double lightsaber before it was cool.
I even told the actor who played I even told Mark Hollander, you had the double-sided lightsaber before Darth Maul.
Yeah, and then he turned that into a meme.
But, yeah.
By the way, I love Hollander. He is the chillest. Can't wait to see him.
Cool dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you guys think of this episode of Gozyuger? And just for a bonus question, what was your Fox and WB channel back in the 90s?
Oh, yeah. Jake, what were your Fox and WB channels?
Fox was 7, WB was 13.
Interesting, because for me, 7 was ABC and 13 was UPN.
ABC 7, UPN 9.
Interesting. For me, 9 was KCal 9, which is where I would watch Beast Wars, Saban's Masked Rider, and Mummies Alive, weekday mornings.
So our channel 9 was fairly similar. Mummies Alive, Beast Wars. I don't remember Masked Rider, but yeah.
Yeah, that's how I found out about Saban's Masked Rider. And let me tell you, I actually have a funny story about that, but I'll tell it to you in person next time we see each other. But yeah, so that's honestly, even though all at least 2 of those shows were Fox originals, I first saw them syndicated on KCal 9, along with RoboCop, the animated series.
Oh my God. That was the thing.
Yeah.
But yes.
But UPN Sunday mornings, those were really fun because we had a bunch of Deke shows like Jumanji and Roswell Conspiracies.
Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century, Sabrina the
Not yet.
No.
No. Sherlock Holmes first aired on Fox Kids in '99. Frankie Muniz even had a preview special. Yeah, the preview special included Cyber 6, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century, what's it called? Spider-Man Unlimited, Digimon, the second arc of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, and then like they trick all the other kids that showed up uninvited to leave just before the pizza man arrived, and then for some reason there was only 7 slices of pizza. So I'm like, how are you gonna split 7 slices among 3 kids? Also, who cuts pizzas into 7s? That's weird.
Figure it out. Math it up.
See, like it's been 25 years, 26 years almost, and that still bothers me.
I mean, how we did it back in the day, we would have a whole pie, but then we would cut each individual slice into more slices. At least that's how we did it for kids' pizza parties.
Smart thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We did that for a lot of pizza parties in school. We would just cut each slice in.
Yeah, but the one thing that I would hate no matter what is when people cut pizzas into 6 60-degree slices instead of 8 45-degree slices, because structural integrity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you know, you know. If you're from New York, you have to know.
I mean, we got the best pizza, so yeah, we do know.
yeah. It's like you got to fold it correctly. Whether it's from Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn,
number 1, no contest. Pizza wagon. I will not.
I would have, like, freaking 12 years ago, I would have said Queens, but that very specific pizzeria closed down in 2012. So yeah, like by default, Brooklyn. By default, Brooklyn has the best pizzas because the champ is gone. All right, that's all what you think. All right, Axel 5 says hi. Hi, Axel.
Hello.
So I think this is the first episode to have a normal ending. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on.
I think I know. It just ended off like, oh, it's just a regular episode. Like, oh, hey, yeah, Green's trying to get a nickname out of Unicorn. You know, just harmless fun.
Yeah,
nothing traumatizing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think back to previous episodes.
I mean, episode 7.
I'll get back to you on that. So, what color do you see as more of a core member color, black or green? I mean, for me, I say they're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I know that Live Man and Go Onger and
Kyoryuger.
And yeah, like Ryu Soldier,
my
like
favorite.
Really complicated things.
Yeah, and
but
they're doing it again now. So
but it's no different from the interchangeability between white and pink.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's actually kind of interesting because black is typically a male color, but we have our first female Black Ranger. But while white is typically a female color, but Geki Chopper to this day is our only male white ranger.
Kiba Ranger.
No, he's 6th.
Oh, you're talking about
yeah, we're talking about core colors.
Core, okay, yeah. I was about to be like,
what about
we're talking
Big
about
One?
core. What?
Like, what about Big One? Do you consider him a core member or an extra character?
I mean, he's technically core, but it's so tricky. Like, honestly, like Jaka, I have the same issues with as Zenkaiger because it's like they don't make it very clear whether the leader is the Red Ranger like it typically is, or if the leader is the White Ranger because he's like front and center. It's not even the same as like Kaku Ranger, where it's like yeah, White is technically the leader, but Red takes front and center. Because you could say the same thing about Geki Ranger, where like technically Yellow's the leader, but Red is front and center.
Or Time Ranger, where Pink is
Time
the
Ranger,
leader.
where Pink is technically the leader, but Red's still front and center.
I give Jaka the whole Tommy, Jason, then Rocky, like, oh, the White Ranger is the leader, Red Ranger, second in command now.
Yeah,
Okay.
but what really feels weird is the fact that the Quantum Ranger is included, even though he is a 6th Ranger. And it's like, but you know that just creates. But considering how people like respect Dom, like he is a 6th Ranger, but never call him a 6th Ranger because he definitely is.
Well, we can do that with Outbreak Killer.
Yeah. Outbreak Killer absolutely is a 6th Ranger, but Genki Chopper is not. But Dom had such a presence that we respect him like he's one, even though he isn't one. So when you think, it's like this meme where it's like you have the Council of Red Rangers and you have the Quantum Ranger. It's like Jason's like, it's like you have a seat on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of Red Ranger. It's like that's impossible. That's unfair. And Eric would say that.
Yeah.
But in the Council of 6th Rangers, you have Dominic like standing in front of everyone. You have Tommy being like, it's like, you sit on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of 6th Ranger. He's like, oh, that's cool, mate. I'm just here for the pizza anyways.
Yeah. I saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters for the first time in 20 years this week.
I watched it on my birthday.
Nice.
Just like I did 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of deadbeat dads, Genki Chopper. Genki Chopper. You are deadbeat. You ain't going to forget what you did in Saber. Lightning's dad.
Lightning's dad.
He like how Gao on the glittery Eren Yeager in Saber, he was Eren Yeager.
Okay.
I forget.
Wait, did he do the voice of Eren's dad?
No. I forgot the character's name. The Saber's best friend.
Saber's best friend. No, Kento's dad was
Blue?
No. Kento's dad was played by freaking Juzo from Shinkenger.
Oh yeah.
Who was Kaido from Fies.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Blades' dad was Boken Blue.
Yeah. No, wait, no. Genki Chopper was in
No. The previous Blades was Boken Blue.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's been a while since I last saw Saber.
Yeah. Now I remember Kobe was hard.
That's why I got mixed up.
Yeah. It's the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
It's a musashi stash. But yeah. So to answer your question, they are equally core because they are interchangeably core, just like how white and pink are equally and interchangeably core. You might have a team with a black and pink. You might have a team with a green and pink. You might have a team with green and white. You might have a team with green and pink.
Sometimes,
in fact, all 4 of those existed.
Sometimes
or even Changeman to where you have both white and pink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or an ninja.
That too.
Yeah. It's just that Genki Ranger's the first time we had a male white, and Gozyuger's the first time we had a female black. Mm-hmm. Man, I would love to see these two have a crossover because they both have like a type of sword for their weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Like one's got like a spear, the other's got a sword. Well, it's actually a knife hand, but still. Ooh,
yeah.
But still, it would have worked. So random question: how many teams have had both black and green as core? I think we more or less answered that.
Yeah,
it's mainly 4, 5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's mentally run it through one more time. Live Man, Gowanger, then it's Kyoruger, then it's Ryu Soldier. Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. We forgot about Q Ranger.
Yeah, Q Ranger too.
Yeah, because they had a female green and a male black. I mean, he's a robot, but still male. Super. Okay, so then we had Ryu Soldier and Cure Major, so that puts us at
Cure Major had black and green.
Remember Chameleon Green and Taurus Black?
You mean Q Ranger, not Kira Major.
Yeah.
Oh no, not Cure Major.
Yeah, you said Cure Major. Something like, what?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, that's weird. Okay, so Ryu Soldier. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. Like I said, 6.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I said Q Ranger, and you guys might have misheard me say Cure Majors, because I'm like, no, they had pink and green. So I get the feeling we're never gonna see the Zyuohger guy again.
Do you mean the Jew Ranger guy?
Zyuohger guy.
We haven't seen the Zyuohger Universal Warrior yet until next episode. I think he means Jew Ranger.
Yeah, maybe. After all, his wish already came true many times over, so he said.
Yeah, he got to be a proper team. So
and also if you're talking about Zyuohger, I hope you're not talking about Kyohei Kamikami, because oh man, I don't hate the actor. I hate the characters he played. One in particular.
I was saying, what? Oh, we're talking about Bard? You don't like Bard?
No, I'm talking about freaking Masato Kusaka.
Oh my!
Oh yeah, our favorite manipulative sociopath,
who's also a racist.
Mm-hmm.
And an android.
And what was Sono? What was the Sono trio? What was their race? The Momo tribe.
Yeah.
The Naoto.
Yes, he was also a Naoto.
Oh yeah. I really can't stand it. Oh yeah, he played Sono Na. He played Sono Na. No, he played Sono Ya. There should have been a third actor. Have that person be Sono Ya, so that Kohei could have been Sono Na. So when you got Sonoi and Sonosa, you would the three of them would be Sono Q E Sa.
They had it right there.
Ka-i-sa. It's it would have been a terrible joke that we wish we could we could quickly wake up from in a cold sweat, but it's a never-ending nightmare that will thankfully never come true. But the opportunity was there though. So in episode 11, Gao Red, Vol Eagle, Juo Red are gonna show up. Yes, so we got 3 red. So we got 2 eagles of red. Persuasion,
baby, let's go.
Zyuohger.
Okay, and Gao Red actors play by some other guy from Kamen, not just some other guy from Kamen.
I already went through this. He's a deadbeat.
You already went through this.
Yeah.
Deadbeat. Lost in time. That's what makes him beat dad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think would have been cool if a show era Universe Red Ranger like Dynaman Red or Bioman Red showed up in this episode?
Well, I mean,
maybe
he's already got some of those Showa rings as is.
Yeah, he has the Jekka and Denjiman ring, and then we're gonna see Vol Eagle next episode. But Dyna Red or Red 1, that would have been interesting, I guess.
Yeah, you know what would have been interesting? If Vol Eagle would make some Marvel references, because Vol Eagle could have been the first Red Ranger under Marvel. Because Stan Lee was involved in 3 seasons of Super Sentai, the first 3, and by first 3 I mean Battle Fever J through Sun Vulcan, and he did want Sun Vulcan to come to the U.S., but man, them American xenophobe station owners be like, no one wants to see a bunch of Asian people talk and then have voices not match what they're saying, even though Bruce Lee was a thing.
So what do they know?
All right.
Yeah. So I recently been thinking about fan Power Ranger names for the heroes, and so far I have Roy, Zane, Jake, Eric, Megan, and Ben. Well,
you messed up.
You
with
don't
Ben
have a gold
green.
silver yet.
Ben should have been green. Ben 10. Come on now. It was right there.
Yeah. Ben should have been green. I have to say one thing that I was not one of the nitpicks I had about Samurai. And I mean, this is strictly a nitpick. It's not like a major plot hole issue. Is the fact that the Green Ranger's name is Mike solely because Magnum Defender's name is Mike. And up to that point, I kind of like the idea that every Ranger and extra hero all had unique names.
Laziness. My one gripe.
I get that.
Even like JJ, it's like a unique name. It's like even if like you named him Jason Jr., it's like at least you know it's not Jason, it's Jason Jr. And heck, canonically, it'd be cool if like, you know, Tommy named his kid after Jason. Because it's like, because in universe, they're still best friends.
Or, you know.
In universe. In universe. In universe.
But one gripe about Samurai, no Shinken Brown. Bulk was right there. Waste.
Bulk could have been Shinken Brown.
He could have been.
So do you think Goju Wolf is a better ninja than Takaharu? Abso-freaking-lutely. Next.
Yeah. I mean, Takaharu doesn't even hide like a proper ninja. He's not quiet like an actual ninja. He's not stealthy like an actual ninja.
And Taru is like inconspicuous because he's just staying quiet. He's keeping to himself. He might talk smack about you not showering for 3 weeks. You know who you are. Let's see. Greg, Jonathan, Craig. I would recommend against having a Greg and Craig in the same season, unless they're twins like Gem and Gemma.
Yeah, and I would not
Greg
use
and Craig. Hey, there could have been worse days. Remember Michael and Pikel from Rick and Morty?
Change that Drake to Kendrick.
He's not wrong. He's out of line, but he's not wrong. I never realized until now that so many Sentai shows reuse a lot of locations.
Really?
Really? Just now? Like some
I mean, the thing is that it's a budget show, so Toei reuses a lot of a lot of locations for fight scenes. They've been doing it for.
It's easier to use the same location multiple times than to get a new location each time because you always have to do a lot of paperwork and paying people off in order to use those locations for filming. This is actually the reason why we have almost no motorcycle scenes in Kamen Rider, because you need to do a lot of paperwork and paying people off to be able to film a motorcycle scene, because you have to close out large expanses of roads people use publicly just to film the scene. And if you're thinking, well, why do we have to close off the roads? It's because, let's say if other people are there. One, if you're doing a stunt, other background drivers might not know what the stunt sequence is, so they might get hurt in the process, or they might even hurt the actor. And two, it's like, what if you're stuck in traffic?
Yeah,
you're not going to be able to film a cool chase scene if you're stuck in traffic. That's why you got to close off large segments of entire cities just to film chase sequences in films, whether it's in New Zealand, whether it's in Chicago, whether it's New York, LA. Hey, I appreciate that the movie Speed was took place in the Underground Red Line because it was still being constructed, and so there's like no one around to interfere with filming.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, like for like some of the outside bus scenes, they had to close off parts of the 110 and 105 freeways. Yeah, I memorized every minute detail of the production of the movie Speed. Okay, so when was it ever stated that every single Sentai series took place in their separate universe? It was never stated.
Like that. Sentai is like connected in different ways depending on what season you're watching.
Yeah, it depends. Like Sun Vulcan is a sequel to Denji Man. They even reference Denji Man a few times in the show and bring back Queen Hedrian.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like, shows would be standalone, and then sometimes they would have them be in the same universe. Like, Gokaiger would have...
I think Q Ranger's the first time they referenced that Q Ranger and Deca Ranger take place in separate universes. Because they had to use a wormhole in order to get to the Deca Ranger universe.
Gozyuger.
Yeah.
Gozyuger was a separate universe.
Oh, yeah. No, well, yes and no, because Gozyuger had frames, but it was still assumed that all the Super Sentai teams were still in the human frame.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is that, sometimes they have it to where all Sentai's in the same universe, like Gokaiger, and then they have it in each separate universe because of Zenkaiger, multiverse theory with Zenkaiger. Yeah. And with Q Ranger, it makes sense that it takes place in its own universe because the whole galaxy gets taken over by dark matter, and there's no way like the previous Sentai would let that happen. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
In other words, Sentai logic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So next one is
timey-wimey. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Kaiketsu Zubat is one of Ichi Monji Shot. Hold on.
Ishinomori.
He spelled Ishinomori. Shotaro Shinomori's work plays by Miyauchi Hiroshi.
Sure is.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I need to look something up real quick. I'm a big fan of his. I was surprised that when I watched O-Ranger for the first time, he was like the mentor.
Yeah, he was Miura.
Yeah. I know him more as Zubat, V3, Owl Ranger, and Big One. And in the case of Owl Ranger, like I love the first time he shows up on screen. It's like the other four Rangers are like gathered. It's like we're just supposed to be a fifth person. We don't have enough time to wait for him. We have to go downstairs, and then already miles below the miles of corridors later, like he's like already there wearing his cowboy hat. It's like, hey guys, I had time to destroy an entire evil organization in some other part of Japan, and I still arrived before any of you did. What took you so long? Because again, V3. Akai kamen no bisuri daburu typhoon inochi no beruto. So which Gozyuger do you think has gotten the least focus? Honestly, the Blue Ranger.
There.
Actually, no. The Yellow Ranger got the least focus because Because like at least the Blue Ranger had a focus episode. The Yellow Ranger didn't have any.
Yeah, he has no.
Yeah, he hasn't had a focus episode yet.
Like he may have been the first person besides Haru to like use Tegazord's Megazord form, but that's
He ain't got no.
all he got.
Because he left his family to join this little cult thing about the Tegazord, so there's no like deeper dive into that. He's just following the will. He's like Qui-Gon Jinn, following the will of the Force.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know he was also Wind Spectre and Soul Brain.
Yeah, he's the commander in both those series.
That's cool.
So he's basically in every freaking franchise: Kamen Rider, Sentai, Metal Hero.
He's not an Ultraman.
He's missing.
He could be. He could be. I mean, it's not too late. All he has to do is do a bit of voice work, and we're golden. Just have him do the voice of Ultra Father for one movie, and you're gold.
I guess so.
Yeah, considering the next season looks like it's gonna be somewhat of an anniversary episode.
I just hope Omega is better than Arc. It looks like it will be. I'm hoping it is.
It looks very similar to Z-Earth.
Yeah, it's mainly the face.
And also just how much red is involved.
Yeah.
And not like a muted red like the original Ultraman, which carried over to Tiga. I mean, very bright red.
Mm-hmm.
Very bright, like a full 255. A full FF.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although I still say that I hope that in the next season, after Omega, the first episode is going to involve a meteor crashing to Earth, and it's like, wait, it's that meteor from the original Ultraman. It came back 1,000 years too soon.
Yeah, they could do that.
Yeah, because July 2nd, 3026 is the year. Yeah. It's almost time.
No Ultraman.
Yeah, so on an unrelated note, but trailers for the Boom Boomja vs. King Oja trailer shows that Boon Violet is going to team with King Oger, with Papillon Oger, and Boon Orange is going to team up with Spider
Kumanos.
Yeah, I think it's more to like put the colors together, but I still say Sixth should stay with Sixth and then just like work with the colors from there. Boon Orange could work with
Kamakiri Oger.
I'm trying to figure out like how we would play this out. Actually I could see the two blacks together, the two blues together, because like one's serious, one's goofing off. The two Red Rangers are just basically chill. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. So Boon Pink would have to work with either. No. So Boon Pink is probably going to team up with both. Boon Pink is going to team up with both. Kamakiri and Papillon. With both Kamakiri and Papillon. While Hachi Oja will team up with both Boon Black and Boon Orange. That will Kumanos with Boon Violet.
Yeah. And
in the off chance Okua Oja shows up, just team him up with the Hashirian trio. Just because.
Mm-hmm.
It would amuse me. It would amuse me. Although I can see them more spending time with what's his face from the Bugnarok Empire. God, I got his name.
The military
Mayfly dude.
Oh, Mayfly, yeah.
Yeah. But I know. Freaking bowler hat guy is gonna be like, it's the Boom Boomgers. They're causing the problems. We must lynch them.
Well, the movie comes out soon, so we'll find out.
I hope he doesn't. Because how dare you stand where the legend Minoru used to stand?
Yeah, no more Minoru. We done with him now.
Okay, so our Black and Green Rangers always duo when they're on the same team?
Not always.
Not always.
Oh yeah, Real Soldier.
I mean, they were in 3 of those teams.
Live Man.
Maybe a little bit 4,
Live
kind
Man.
of 4. But again, in Q Ranger, one of the reasons why, like, we forgot Q Ranger was a thing was because Hammy and Champ didn't really have that much screen time together.
Yeah, she was hanging out more with Spada, if anything.
Yeah.
And he did not help in my case of the Robo loving you.
Robosexuality.
Yeah. It's a sin. Do not let your pure wires cross with the desires of human flesh, lest you be sent to Robo hell. Lord have mercy.
And yeah, 1,000 women didn't listen. Now Stacy has to deal with his mom being human and his dad being a robot man thing.
Yeah, at the time, the dude had the number of wives equal to the number of Pokemon that were available at the time. She's like 893 or something like that.
Man hit 1,000 before One Piece did. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when you think Queen Tega Jun will fight the Gozyugers? Maybe sometime around when the 6th Ranger arrives.
I'm around the midway point of the series.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like, as far as I'm concerned, she is well, I wouldn't say walking. I say walking like in an idiomatic sense, but she's a walking Queen Meadow reference from 5-Man. Peach tastes so much better than grape.
Yeah, well,
what I mean by normal ending is that the ending doesn't end with a twist or reveal about a character or anything.
Yeah, no.
Did it though? No. Did it though?
Yeah.
Anything can be a twist if you let it be.
Yeah, this is the first. I think this is like literally the first time, or maybe the second time this happened.
Yeah. I'll rewatch the ending of every episode up to this point and get back to you on that.
Yeah.
But if you enjoyed, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon so you know about our latest videos. And be sure to share our videos because it helps us out with the algorithm. On Mondays, we do Ultraman Classic, and we got 2 more videos left for the entire season. Wednesdays, we got Kamen Rider Gavu. We just started a new arc a few episodes ago. Thursdays, No.1 Sentai Gozyuger. We literally just started a new arc. And on Sundays, we got the original Kamen Rider, where we also started a new arc. So on the same week, we start a new arc for 2 different shows. And all this and more on our channel. Also check out our interview with Jeff Dolan, who did the voice of Korag Daishi, and he played a janitor in Beast Morphers and a competition official in Ninja Storm. Why did it take us a while to upload this interview? Well, there's a simple explanation for that.
I knew you were going to say that.
Check out our sister channel, The Butter Show.
Hell for you.
Oh, I knew I was going to hell since the day I was born. Mm-hmm. But with that in mind, also check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we're doing shorts of the new Gundam series GQX. And also, if you want to follow our personal content, where can the people find you?
You can find me at youtube.com AxelRanger, where it's always torture time for the Mastodon.
You can find me over on Twitch and YouTube at Henshin Gate. We hit 8 years. Yeah, here's 8 years. Here's the more of that.
And you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto, where you can also watch our live streams of various tokusatsu content, including the original Kamen Rider and the original Ultraman. And with that in mind, please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and on behalf of the entire channel, if you're going to spend your Thursday nights watching some friends talk about explosions, rubber-suited monsters, and non-spandex heroes, I'm glad that that this time it's gonna be May. Have a good one, guys. We love you.
Ah, he said it.